gonna be talking brackets. It's March Madness. March is here and we are live. Wait for someone to jump on. What's going on, Chris? First here, so now I can start. We are, of course, going to be talking brackets, March Madness. Let's fill one out. Alright, what's up, guys? Let me hit the record button here. We're going to get going. Fill out a bracket. Alright, 2024 March Madness is here. Gonna fill out my bracket. Literally, the brackets came out a few hours ago. If you don't know, don't follow me. I am a parent. I am just now looking at this for the very first time. So let's roll through and let's find a winner, or at least get as close as we can, for the Ncaa bracket challenge that I'm sure we are all in. Tons of pools. Any questions? Well, if you're watching this live, let me know. Hit me up. I have a different strategy. A lot of people, what they do is they roll through and just go matchup by matchup, who's going to win, and get to the end. Fine strategy, I guess, but I like to actually I built from like really the Sweet 16 on, and I kind of backtrack from there. What I mean by that is, really, I'm not trying to chase these large 10 seeds making it all the way. For the most part, most of the time, the team in the Final Four is going to be one of the top 4 seeds. That's just how it rolls. So I'm going to go through. I'm just going to start, and I could very well go back and change these, but I'm going to move every 1 through 4 seed on, and we're going to take a look at how to disqualify them from being in the Final Four. And I work my way backwards. Different than what a lot of people do, matchup via matchup. Not saying these teams are going to get here. I could very well cross them all off. I have not looked at anything, period. This could be a long stream, a long episode. I'm starting here. I think I'm going to have all of my Final Four teams be at least one of the top 4 seeds. Again, we'll go back and we'll talk upsets later, but I like to build from the inside out. So North Carolina, Alabama. All right. So really, let's start up at the top here. Let's start in the East region. Get any questions, guys? Hit me up. Let me know. All right. So first thing we got, and again, I'm still not going matchup via matchup. Not how I do it. All right. For the most part, we're at the end of the season now, and a lot of the stuff is data I've gotten from Sharp App, another site that I work for that we've done these deep dives before. For the most part, if you're not ranked in the very first poll of the preseason, you typically do not do well in the NCAA tournament, no matter how much progress you've made throughout the year. You may win a couple games, but doesn't mean you're going to. You typically don't reach the Final Four, and that's what I'm looking for right now. I want to start with my Final Four teams. That's what I'm looking at, and who can I disqualify from these top 4 seeds. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to start. We're going to go with 2023 NCAA men's basketball preseason poll. I'm just going to work my way out. Give me a second. I'm going to adjust my mic here. First bracket of the day. Wow, this video got some people joining. Look at that. All right. Is this the first poll of the season? Kansas. Cool. All right. Who can I eliminate here? I know UConn was definitely ranked in the preseason poll, I believe. Make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Cool. Again, I'm starting this from scratch. I've done nothing ahead of time. Connecticut, they got a couple first place votes in the preseason poll. Looking good there. Auburn, yeah, thanks for your pop-up ad, ncaa.com. Auburn was not ranked to start the year. That's simple. I'm going to take them out of here. How can you... there we go. Not that I'm actually picking Yale, but I got to move them back here. All right. How about Illinois and Iowa State? Building from Illinois was ranked 25. Iowa State. Nothing for Iowa. That simple. Moving on, I'm taking out Iowa State. Again, not that I'm picking now South Dakota State to win, just how I'm clearing the bracket. There probably is an easier way to do this in ESPN, but I'm not sure. So now, I've gone that quickly. In the East region, my Final Four team is either going to be UConn or Illinois. Just based on historical data, how we've gone through things. Okay, what am I going to look at next? I'm going to do one region at a time and kind of repeat the process a little bit. But we got 2 left. Illinois, actually, change my mind. Let's just do this one criteria across the board. Houston, Duke, Kentucky, Marquette. I'm gonna do my just Control F. I'm sure Houston, Duke was. Yeah, Duke was definitely ranked. There we go. Be surprised if Kentucky wasn't. Marquette was Marquette. And okay, so unfortunately, unlike the East, the South region, all 4 teams are ranked at the start of the season. I got plenty more criteria, but let's scroll on down. Let's look now at the West. North Carolina, Alabama, Arizona, Baylor. North Carolina, Arizona, Alabama. And I'm doing this, guys, because I have an idea, but Alabama was ranked. The beginning of the season was so long ago. Baylor ranked at the start of the season. They were. Again, unfortunately here, nobody I can eliminate using the same criteria in the West. All right, so again, if you don't know what we're doing here, all of my final 4 teams are going to be from the top 4 seeds. I'm not chasing anything crazy, just historically what works out. And if you're not ranked in the preseason poll, you typically don't reach the final 4. There's been a couple rare exceptions the last few years, but historically, it's just how it's worked out. Last region to check here: Purdue, Kansas, Creighton, Tennessee. Purdue. Well, it'd be nice if I could spell Purdue right. Top of the poll. Kansas, of course. Tennessee, of course. So not a lot of charging changes here. Was Creighton ranked at the start of the year? They were. Top 8 at the start of the year. I don't remember that at all. It's been a long season. Super long season. Okay, so we didn't get rid of too many teams here. We really just knocked out looks like Auburn and Iowa State. So that's where we started. Apparently I have been casting on my phone or doing a voice note the entire time. That's a long ass voice note. Alright. Next thing that's important to me in the NCAA tournament: 3-point shooting. Gotta be able to shoot threes. So we're gonna go see if you are not shooting at threes at 30%, I don't want you in. So let's go to NCAA men's basketball team statistics. So some people left, but this is just it's methodical process. Maybe you were hoping just for the quick bracket, which I'll put that up in my TikTok after we do all this. But for now, I gotta find 3-point shooting. Click on a team statistic. 3-point percentage. I got the whole country in here? I do. Awesome. Maybe I should use the NCAA site for it, but don't. Not what we're building. We're building ESPN right now. So, UConn and Illinois. What are they shooting on the season? You know, I remember in the past I could click on a team and get some more stats here. Apparently I'm crazy. Oh, you gotta have the whole matchup to preview. That's not fun. I don't like this, the game by game, way to do it. It's just not my cup of tea. But I can use this for some stats rather than clicking around crazy, although I don't see 3-point percentage. That's a stat I want. So I'm gonna go back here. We're gonna search UConn. 36% on the season. Fine. Am I not spelling Illinois right? Are they all the way not in the top 50? Oh. Oh, this is going to be a super annoying way to do this, huh? There's got to be better team statistics here. I'm definitely getting some hate right now. Got to be. Can I just search Illinois men's basketball 3-point percentage? Got to be better stats for this. Let's see. They are shooting 35% of the year. Alright, that's fine. Same thing, I'm just looking for teams I can exclude from Final Four contention because they don't shoot. I have McNeese going far because of their 3-point percentage. Yeah, Alex, I like that. 3-point percentage is important in the NCAA tournament, and once I get past these, who I got in the Final Four, definitely dig into those a little bit more here. Let's see. Houston and Duke, again, if you're just watching, these are not my picks. I work inside out. I want my Final Four teams first. Let's search Houston's shooting on the year. Houston 34.8%. That's fine. We're looking Duke, Kentucky, Marquette. Let's just knock them all out here. It's good old Google to do it. Again, I'm sure there's an easier way. Duke is fine. Kentucky. Why did that not pop up and all the other teams did? Huh. Strange. What is Kentucky shooting from 3 on the season? 41%, that's fine. Who else can I eliminate, guys? Let's see. Oh, Marquette. Marquette shooting from 3 on the season. 3-point percentage. 35. Looks like 3-point percentage might not be knocking anybody out. Got through the first 2 regions just fine. North Carolina, Alabama. Again, there's got to be a better way to search this. And again, I'm no prep. Just jumped on. First look. What am I doing here? So, North Carolina. There's got to be a better way to search this. This is going to drive me crazy. 35% on the season. And then we're looking at, all right, I don't think Alabama. I'm getting a little frustrated that this is not going as smoothly as I wanted to in terms of looking up these 3-point percentages. And again, if it wasn't live, probably would regroup here, but here we are. Baylor. How's Baylor from 3? 38% is good. Arizona. Who can I eliminate? I'm just looking to eliminate some pretenders from these top seeds. Arizona, 37%. They've been shooting pretty well. Tennessee and Creighton. If I get one eliminated with this criteria, I'll be happy. Creighton clicking over, 36%. Now I don't even know where to look for it on the ESPN stats. So that's something. Tennessee, Kansas, Purdue. Tennessee, you're the only 10 I see. Yeah, it's terrible, I know. Just looking for a team to eliminate, 34%. Just a little bit low. We'll keep going. Kansas and Purdue, last 2. Kansas, men's basketball. Shooting from 3, 32%. This is too low for me. That 30 mark is really dangerous. 32.9%. I'm taking Kansas out of Final Four contention. It's leaving me with just, well, I gotta check Purdue here. Let's check the 3-point statistics from Purdue. Again, if you don't know, I build inside out. And then we'll start looking at these upsets from the first weekend that everybody wants to talk about. But really, you remember, winning these bracket challenges is about getting the teams far. The first weekend, you can't really win, but you can lose quick, fast, and in a hurry. All right, Purdue's shooting 40%. Great. So we've eliminated a couple of teams here. Here in the East, it really is just between UConn and Illinois. All right, next thing, you get to be able to defense is important in the NCAA tournament. You have to be able to score. Just absolutely have to be able to score. I want teams averaging really at least 72 points a game. I'm going to click in and do that in 1 second. Real quick, though, guys, I got a quick pause. I got to message the wife. She is out and about. I'm home with the kiddo. So I'm just letting her know I'm on a live stream. One second, guys. Parent life, you know how it is. Okay, here we go. Now we got to look. So we got really UConn and Illinois. Let's see if we can look at some of these statistics here. 81 and 84 points a game. Holy shit, we're not knocking anybody out through that metric. How about Houston and Duke? Over on this side of the bracket, scrolling down. Some of the statistics, 73 points a game. Look, first bold play here. Houston #1 seed. Yeah, sorry, I'm going against Houston. I don't think Houston's got the longevity. I was kind of already thinking that before we jumped on. Now they're 6-2 against the top 25. #1 BP. Maybe it's a hot take. I don't think Houston. Yeah, their defense is good. I don't know if they can score enough. I'm taking Houston out of contention, guys. Hot take, gonna get roasted? Let's see. But no Houston for me. I don't think they score enough. Kentucky and Marquette. Scoring here. This is more like 89 points a game. I get defense is important. Maybe I'll eat shit, but I want teams who can score more. So eliminated one #1 seed from Final Four contention. North Carolina and Alabama. How do these teams stack up and score? 90 points a game. Holy shit. That's a big old number. Baylor and Arizona. See what we got here. Plenty of points down here. Tennessee and Creighton. Again, I know it's tedious, you knocking out one team at a time, but it just is what it is. Real quick, I know I have Kansas out. I just want to check on Purdue's points per game, but top ahead, yeah, they're fine. Welcome, guys. We build inside out. Okay, so now we got to get a little bit further here. Those are my primary criteria, and then really it comes down to scoring margin. Scoring margin is the last thing. You would have beaten teams by a bunch throughout the season, but now they've eliminated some pretenders. Yeah, sorry, Houston, kind of a pretender. Let's dig a little bit, and now let's make decisions. Let's start figuring out who is going to win these regions. So we do in the East have a pretty easy decision here. UConn and Illinois. Scrolling down. Look, it actually becomes really easy. UConn's beaten teams by 15 points a game, metric I love, and Illinois barely 10. Really under 10 is where I chop people off at the knees here. 1 seed against 3. I do think UConn is better overall, better PPI rank, more consistent throughout the year. Now I'm finally using some of the eye test here. I'm going UConn to win the East region. As a number 1 seed, I know, super shocking to everyone, but there we are. So UConn's the first team I got locked in here. Let's go over. We got 3 teams left. The only team I've eliminated in the South is the number 1 seed. Let's take a look at Kentucky and Marquette, see if any scoring margin jumps off the chart, the page to me, and both of them are beating teams by less than 9 points a game. Do not like, which means, hey, Duke, are you beating teams by a bunch this season, or is this whole region just out of my criteria? 12, I don't cut them off the knees. Kentucky, Marquette, both are under 10. Guess what, guys? I'm picking Duke. Simple criteria. How did I land on Duke if you're just joining? And again, if you're watching this on YouTube afterwards, sorry you have to hear this again. But basically, eliminated teams not ranked in the preseason poll. Eliminated teams with 3-point percentage under 30% for the season. Eliminated teams not scoring 72 points per game. And eliminated teams with a scoring margin of under 10. Houston was 73 points a game. They eked over it, but I made the executive decision to cross them out. And I'm going Duke. It's really annoying that I have to pick all the way in before I can go back and flip everybody off. We'll go do the first round teams later. All I care about right now is I do have Duke in the Final Four. We'll go fill out the rest of the bracket later. Oh, I turned off Duke. Son of a bitch, man. Oh, okay, there we go. Duke. Down in the West, okay, we've eliminated no one with our criteria in the West. North Carolina, Alabama, Baylor, Arizona, all standing tall. But how is the scoring margin looking? Arizona is a no-go. Alabama, I should say. Alabama is a no-go. North Carolina just squeaked in. So it's either going to be North Carolina or Baylor, Arizona. Scoring margin here, healthy for Arizona, shitty for Baylor. Arizona. North Carolina, Arizona. So 1-2 matchup. Again, a lot of times I'm just knocking out pretenders. And a lot of times it's not crazy surprises. It's just a method I started doing a couple years ago with advice for people from the Sharp app, and it's worked out really well. All right, so now we got to look at UNC and Arizona, better BPI rank, conference strength of schedule, the handy dandy stat from ESPN here. North Carolina, Arizona. I'm going to go with Arizona. I'm going to take a 2 seed here. Better points per game, better scoring margin. I have to think about what the 3-point stats were, but nothing really calling me off here. I know the 6-2 against top 25 teams versus 3-3. Part of it is just like the Arizona team. There's nothing, like, I'm not claiming to be a college sports super expert, super fan. I like Arizona in the matchup though. So right now I got a 1 seed, a 2 seed, and a 4 seed. Let's jump back down and let's see what we're doing here for the final region, which is the Midwest. Creighton or Tennessee, how do our scoring margins look? And then we'll start diving in here. Creighton just survives. Tennessee also just survives. I'm going to have to pick a winner of this game who I think is better. I really don't like Creighton. I don't know what it is. I don't like Creighton. I don't like Tennessee either. I have a hard time. I'm just moving Tennessee ahead because I have a hard time not seeing myself picking Purdue just what I know about that team. 7-0 against top 25, bigger scoring margins. Yeah, it's going to be Purdue here. No crazy surprises. So I have my final four teams. I will go back to the outside and work my way back in if you're just joining. But here, one of my final four is UConn, Arizona, Duke, and Purdue. Let's go back in here. UConn and Arizona, 31-3, 25-8. Again, healthy scoring margin. The second ranked BPI. Arizona does score more than them. Really looking at limited stats here. My stats have kind of gone out the window here to narrow down to this point. So really, I'm just thinking eye test what I've seen from them on the year, how they finished the season. I guess what I gave Arizona the bump for in the last round, they struggle against really quality teams or have in the past here. I think UConn will be too good for them. I will take the Huskies there. Other side, Duke and Purdue. I can't see myself making any big crazy surprises here. I kind of had bias coming in that I was pretty sure I was taking Purdue to get really far. And Duke kind of benefits from a region I just did not like. So I'm going to go UConn and Purdue. What turns me off of Houston? Basically, don't score enough per game. I know defense is important in the NCAA tournament. 73 points a game. You look statistically history. Teams that don't score a lot of points can struggle. I'll get to the underdogs in Mississippi State in a little bit here. Again, if you are just joining, I'll get to Mississippi State. I promise. I want to get my national championship first because these bracket challenges, well, like I said, everybody honed in on the first weekend. Pick your 12s, pick your 14s. Fuck it, pick the teams that are going to get far. I can get destroyed, but if I got in the first round, but if I got my final four teams right, I'm live. And you can get the big 16 or the 15-2 upset. But if you lose your national champion, you're done. That's simple. All right, we got UConn and Purdue. Man, this is going to be a good game. What are the notable results that they have listed for Purdue? I'm just curious here. 8 points against Arizona. Pair of wins over Michigan State. 1 point loss to Wisconsin. Right. All right, this is ringing a bell now. Not that it didn't before. So really, 2 versus 3 in the BPI rank here. Again, I've knocked out Houston. Not a believer there. UConn or the Boilermakers. I went to school, not at Connecticut, Sacred Heart University, but we got that paid to play Smash games against UConn quite a few times. So it comes down to Colorado State, Rob. Yeah, I can't really argue with that. Grand Canyon. I'm going to get there, guys. I'm going to get to all the smaller teams here in a second. National championship, though, I can't get away from that unconscious bias I had at the beginning, or can I? God, it's just almost toss a coin here. I'm going to come back to this at the end. I know I've been staring at this page for a little bit. No, I'm not. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to go UConn. Maybe it's my Connecticut bias. I knew I was going to take Purdue to get very far. The scoring margin is too good. I actually think, too, if we look at UConn, they're definitely going to have a tougher path to get through, I believe. Give me UConn to win the national title here. Score of the game? I don't know. Fuck it at this point, quite honestly. Total? Maybe like 80 to 55, so 155 total. Give me UConn to win it all. Now let's go fill out the rest of the bracket. UConn runs too much? Yeah, but can teams keep up with them? I-State beat. Yeah, you know what, you guys, maybe. Although I don't think. I think Iowa State beats UConn. Is that what I just read in there? All right, let's go one at a time now. Let's fill out the rest here. I got UConn advancing, obviously. We got to go FAU and Northwestern. Some of these teams I am familiar with, some I am not. I know about Northwestern. FAU, not super familiar with them this season. But I'm just going to kind of go, really, some of those key metrics I point out, things I look at. Scoring per game, scoring differential, 3-point shooting. It really comes down to that. If you're beating teams by a lot, it matters. It just matters unless you're playing these tight games, especially in a game like this. The BPI rank for FAU is higher anyway. Nothing really to turn me off here. This 8-9 matchup, I know everyone is also interesting game theory-wise. Everyone sees that Northwestern beat Purdue and they're going to run to take them. I like FAU in the matchup, guys. I just like FAU. I think everybody's going to be on the Northwestern side, but not me for that one. Let's go down. We got to fill out the rest of the bracket if you're not familiar. I've already filled out the final four teams. We'll recap that at the end. San Diego State UAB, 5-12 matchup of death everyone likes to talk about. This is one, again, UAB playing tight games in a conference that's just not very good. Watched them play, I think it was today, Atlantic Sun champions. Yeah, no thanks here. I think San Diego State gets this one done. This is not a 5-12 I look at for an upset. Auburn, Yale. I know I crossed out Auburn pretty early in my other criteria here, but Yale, not a believer in this team. Auburn, one of the better BPI ranks for, especially for a low seed, probably seeded a little bit too low, but we'll go ahead and we'll take him here. No upsets, going chalk in the top half of the bracket in the East. All right, San Diego State and Auburn. Digging in here, we got the 5-4 matchup. I like this. Again, this Auburn team is going to make a nasty little run. They're too good for this seed. This is really rough for Yale and whoever wins this game here. Auburn too good. Obviously, I already have UConn because I'm picking them to go far. So that's an easy chalk that one up right there. Let's dive into the bottom half of the bracket. BYU and Duquesne, a 6-11 game. Notable results are all interesting. Again, it comes down to these. Gotta start looking for upsets. I know, and everyone's gonna accuse me of picking too much chalk. I think I was glancing at the region. I really didn't look at anything before I jumped on here. It's all just first reaction, statistics, what I know about the team, and how I build a bracket, which I think is different than most people. The East seems really straightforward, though. Like I'm going chalky in the East. This is not the region I expect to blow things up. Illinois, Morehead State. We're gonna get to that region in a second. The region that Duke's gonna come out of, I think, is gonna get real gross, real quick. All right, focus in Illinois, Morehead State. Does Morehead State have any chance in this game? Probably not. As a 3 seed, this region is good. Just is. So it comes down to Iowa State, South Dakota. We did knock out Iowa State in our previous criteria. They're not going to get dunked in the first round, though. I do think they're too good for that. And again, I looked early. I was looking as I was talking before. This region is chalk. Again, I just like to scroll down. I like to look at scoring differential, points per game. I don't think Washington State scores enough, and they're too close. This will be the one upset I see in this region is the Iowa State, is the Drake-Washington State game, and you get Iowa State and Drake, which is 2 Iowa teams, by the way. If you don't know, Drake is in Iowa. Anybody who's looking at the way I cap things, you don't know shit about these teams. Again, I do it a little bit differently, but Gonzaga beating Purdue? Whoo! Okay. Don't think so. I think Purdue's too good, but we'll get there in a second. I do think Iowa State wins this here as well, and then we get the Iowa State Illinois game. Again, chalk here. I just think they're going to come up a little bit short. So a lot of chalk in this bracket. A lot of chalk. That's going to happen on occasion. Don't go anywhere. I'm picking some upsets on the other side. I started with the top left. Not a ton of upsets. We kind of real chalk, one upset, running chalk through. That happens. Not sexy. I get it. Let's go to the south here. We can talk about Houston and Longwood. At some point, I'm going to pick against Houston. I'm not even opening that up. I watched, because I bet a lot. I happened to watch a few Lancer games this year, and it was not an enjoyable watch. Go to West. I'm just going to go in order, guys. No, not Oakland over Kentucky. No, I started with the inside out, and I had to get Kentucky off of my. I got to turn some of this stuff off here, so people don't start losing their minds. I built the inside out and kind of eliminated teams. That's why you see some weird upsets. As I'm reading chat here, freaking the fuck out. All right, let's look at this 8-9 matchup: Nebraska and Texas A&M. Notable results: smacking against Creighton. These overall teams, again, this is simple for me. Like the way I covered it earlier. Points per game, scoring margin. If you struggle with one of those two in a close game and the other team doesn't, although they both kind of struggle with scoring margin here, quite honestly. I got Nebraska here. Again, this is not a super confident pick. It's an 8-9 pick. And it comes, Houston, I don't think we're going to see any upsets here. I do think Duke gets the better of Houston. That's where I see Houston falling off as a 1 seed, getting bounced. All right, let's go to Wisconsin, James Madison. We can turn this off so people don't want to see any craziness. Here's where things get interesting, though. James Madison ain't bad. I don't like what I see from Wisconsin. This is one of my 5-12 upsets. Give me James Madison scoring a ton of points. Wisconsin, I think, is a bit overrated. This 19 doesn't seem right to me. This is my 5-12. This is a 5-12 upset. I told you I was going to pick chalk across the board. James Madison to get it done. If you like that and you're on TikTok, drop me a gift. No one's dropped me a gift yet. What the fuck? I'm just playing. Just playing. Honestly, I threw it there. I just gone live like twice. I don't know what the fuck that stuff does. I think I get pennies for it though. All right, let's go to Texas State and North Carolina State here. Scrolling down, it's kind of wiki capping, but it is. You have to be able to score. North Carolina State, that great run there, and this is one where you have to discount a little bit of the form. The way North Carolina State is playing right now against this Texas Tech team, I don't think Texas Tech is especially great. Again, I said it earlier, I think this region is going to blow things up. The form here is too good for me to ignore. I think NC State will win a game, and we got a 5-12 upset and a 6-11 in the same bracket. All right, Kentucky and Oakland. There's just no way. I'm not even going to dig into this game. These are always fun when you have to deal with the first 4 games here. You're filling out a bracket. I am just going to go with Florida. I don't think, really honestly, either one of these final 10. Although this is where the injury was today, right? Again, I was out with my daughter. I didn't see everything. I'm going to go search real quick. Chat probably knows. Florida men's... Who got hurt today? I remember it popping up on my phone. I remember it popping up. I thought I saw somebody get hurt. Maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm thinking of the wrong team. All right, we're good here. What injury was Gators winning at all? Yeah, I don't see that, especially as a 17 seed here. Let me fix this Marquette Western Kentucky matchup again. Just scrolling down, Western Kentucky. I don't really love Marquette though. We can talk about this in a second. I don't think Western Kentucky's going to be the team to knock them off at 215. Again, I watched 1 or 2 Western Kentucky games this year. Nothing to really write home about. I will say Florida Marquette. Whoever just said Florida winning it all. It was the Florida center who got hurt. Motherfucker. Oh, there it is. That's right. Micah Hingleton. All right. What did he do on the season? We gotta look into Micah here. What did our boy do on the season? How big of an impact is this going to be? Oh, he's a backup center. Okay. Again, don't claim to be an expert in all these teams. Alright, this is not going to throw me way off here. Thank God. When I read it on my phone, the alert when I was out with my kid today, I thought we were talking starting center. We're not. I'm not nearly as concerned here, which is good because in this game here we got a Florida team. Scroll down a little. Scroll through all this shit. Marquette, not good. 4-5 against top 25 teams. Scoring margin is way down. Florida scores more. Also an equally iffy scoring margin. I think Marquette is kind of frauds. They've done it to people in the past. Gotta start having some of these big seeds go down and really kind of paving the way for Duke. Give me Florida 2-7 upset. I told you I picked chalk all over here. We were going to start getting weird, and we have finally started to get weird. NC State and Kentucky. Scrolling down. NC State in that that big run. I think this is where the wheels are going to come off, though. I know how good they looked. Sorry, NC State fans. I think Kentucky's got one up on you here, and I am going to go Kentucky. And then you got Kentucky, Florida. If NC State wins this game, like I said, I've broken up this whole bottom side here, and you get Kentucky and Florida, and you start looking at these two teams. What are they? What were their matchups? Florida, they split. Couple 2-point game, 3-point game. Both the road teams winning, which is really interesting. I remember watching. I think it was the game at Florida. Yeah, it was the one Kentucky won. This 3-7 matchup's giving me problems. Quite honestly, this one is giving me problems. You got Florida with that injury. They both score. Probably the fact that Kentucky's been better against winning teams this year, I think pans out a little better for them. I also think they've got better talent. I think this is where the wheels fall off for the Florida State run. Nice little run into the Sweet 16 after the injury to our boy Mike today. But there's the top half. We've done the top half of the bracket, guys. Halfway through. No, I don't think I have great into the final four. I'll scroll back. For those of you who joined late, welcome. All of a sudden, I got more people. Let me scroll down to the bottom, show you what I got. Let's recap the top half. I'll show you the final four, then we'll fill out the bottom half. If you don't know, I fill out the final four first. My East is really chalk. All chalk except for Drake at 10. Chalk all the way through UConn. Just what it is. I have the South side. It's where I have it blown up. I got the 1 seed going out. I got Duke over Houston. I got a 5-12 upset with James Madison winning. A 6-11 upset with NC State winning. I got Florida knocking off the 2 seed Marquette. And then really I got Duke and Kentucky, blue blood matchup, and I got Duke going on to the Final Four. If you didn't see earlier, I'm going to pick Arizona. I'm going to pick Purdue, but let's fill out the rest of the bracket. I got tons of upsets to go through, and I got UConn over Purdue to win the national title game. All right, don't worry about all this stuff going on, guys. If you didn't see earlier, I keep on saying it, and people are going to start freaking out. I fill out the Final Four first. So obviously North Carolina. Let's look at this 8-9 matchup in Mississippi State and Michigan State. Take a look at some of those key factors I mentioned: scoring margin, teams who could score. Michigan State, not a high-scoring team. Really, both these teams, questionable ass margin. Man, I don't like either of these teams at all. Michigan State played Arizona close, played Illinois close. Mississippi State. Somebody was asking about Mississippi State. I don't like either of these fucking teams. They both can play some good teams close. God. Michigan State's ranked a little better. Whoever was asking about this, I appreciate you supporting your team, but not for me here. I'm gonna go with the BPI ranking here. I don't know enough about either of these teams to make a really hard, fast decision. Other than I really don't like either of them. Their chances to beat North Carolina. So I'm just gonna go ahead and advance North Carolina. Let's look at the 5-12 here. Do we got a 5-12 upset in the making? Grand Canyon, yeah, no, nothing crazy here. St. Mary's just better. I think notable wins for Grand Canyon. San Diego, they did beat San Diego State. Decent win there. Can't take that away from them. I still just don't think they're good enough. 29-4 in the year. You can, if you want to throw your 5-12 matchup here, I kind of get it. Grand Canyon isn't terrible, but not for me. You got Alabama and Charleston in Alabama. I like the running teams. I just like the running teams. I also don't think they should be a 4 seed. I'm gonna go Alabama just right through, and maybe this is where North Carolina will get them though. Although wait, I picked Arizona. I got to look into North Carolina and Alabama. Although I don't suspect this is going to be anything yet. To me, this just comes down to scoring margin, record against better teams. UNC advancing. So at the bottom half of the bracket here, Clemson and New Mexico. No, that's not how you say it. Waiting to get lit up in chat. Scrolling down. The scoring margin is atrocious and scary. I like the 11th seed. I know it's a silly thing. It's a little thing. The BPI rank is down. I think Clemson actually got overseeded by a little bit. I thought they were going to be. I actually thought they were going to be like an 8 seed. 6 seems high. New Mexico decent. Better offense. New Mexico have any win over San Diego State by 18. playing good right now. Give me the upset. Give me the 6-11 upset, and then we have to look at New Mexico and Baylor. Again, I like this team, and this comes down to that scoring margin criteria. It just does, and neither team is really particularly good against top 25 teams. I know San Diego's they got some of these are San Diego State, which is not the top team, and Baylor plays in a stacked conference. BPI rank. I'm still gonna go New Mexico. No, oh my God, it's New Mexico Baylor. I want to pick New Mexico. Somebody talk me out of it. I really want to take New Mexico, guys. Ban you? No, I'm not gonna ban you. Drive engagement. Drive engagement. Whatever. Let's see. Oh. Baylor, New Mexico. Why do I want to pick New Mexico so badly? Gonna win over Iowa State. I so badly want to pick this team. I so badly want to. And you know what? I'm going to. I'm going to for this reason, guys. I know I'm taking Arizona to go further, so if I'm wrong, it's not going to crush my points. I'm picking them to go one more round. I already know I'm taking Arizona to advance. Give me New Mexico. Give me an 11 seed to reach the Sweet 16. I guess that's my big run right now, isn't it? Aside from Florida. New Mexico pulling off upsets over Clemson and Baylor. Let's look at this Dayton, Nevada game just to kind of round out what we're looking at here in terms of scoring margin, scoring per game. They're both pretty equal, quite honestly. BPI rank, Dayton, Nevada. This just comes down to one of those. Maybe it's the day I saw it. I don't think Nevada's very good. I've watched them play. I like the Dayton team. I'm fine with it. And really, based on my other criteria, I already filled out the Final Four earlier. We're through. We got Arizona done. Arizona over New Mexico. Arizona over North Carolina. And we're through, and we've built out. So we got some chaos here. We'll do a recap at the end here. Let me turn off anything crazy looking here. All right. Taking Purdue. I'm not going to worry about this first four game. I got Purdue reaching the national title game. So clearly, I'm just rolling through with Purdue. Utah State and TCU for this 8-9 game. Again, really said the BPI ranking is way high on TCU. And this could be that I'm more familiar with TCU. I'm more familiar with that team. I'm going to take him to win here. They will lose to Purdue. Gonzaga and McNeese. All right, some people were interested in this one. Let's see what the good old statistics say. I know it's, again, our key cutoff numbers are 72 points of offense and under 10 scoring margin. Gonzaga meets it, both these teams. This is interesting. I'm going to have to dig way past the initial stats here on Gonzaga and McNeese. What is McNeese shooting from three? Somebody mentioned that earlier. And they were up on my radar here. So let's see. McNeese State, 38.8% from three. God, that's high. What's Gonzaga shooting this year from three? Gonzaga Bulldogs men's basketball. Statistics. Can't believe we're digging this far into this game. 35%. I already picked a 5-12. I picked a 6-11. Picked a couple 6-11s. Chat, what do you guys think? Gonzaga any good? Is Gonzaga any good? Year chaos, man. Give me McNeese State. Give me another 5-12 upset. Gonna do it. Gonna pull the trigger on some madness here. That is a risky one. Kansas and McNeese State. Kansas doesn't beat teams by a whole lot. I love the three-point shooting. Oh my god. Well, why not pick more craziness? Let's go full on fucking crazy. I'm getting a little tired. I've been going for a little bit here. I already got Purdue advancing. Let's get real crazy with McNeese State. I got 2 double-digit seeds in the Sweet 16. I actually got so maybe get a little bit more normal here with South Carolina, Oregon. If I remember right, I did not like this Oregon team at all. South Carolina. The stats backed up what I remembered. I'm going to go Texas. Tennessee and Texas. I don't think there's anything about Texas that was especially special. I'm correct. Looking at some key wins. We're going to go Tennessee. Tennessee Creighton's interesting. Let's dig into this one a half second. I like Creighton. I like Creighton. BPI rank is close for both of them. Both can be got at. Just, again, me watching these two teams this year, I actually like Creighton a little bit more. I start with my base statistics, then I'm going the eye test and what I've seen this year. UNC is beating Arizona. Well, maybe. I don't have it, though. And we got Purdue moving on. So, again, our Elite Eight matchups, I got a 1-2 and a 1-3 with some early craziness in McNeese State run, a New Mexico run. Got some. So my double-digit seeds making a run. Nobody's making it to the Elite Eight. Nothing crazy. I have New Mexico making a run to the Sweet 16. I have McNeese State making a run to the Sweet 16. I have NC State winning one game. James Madison winning a game. The 11s and 12s, pretty standard fare. Let me just check one more time to make sure that I didn't say anything real crazy for Sweet 16 again. I don't think I did. I think my only New Mexico and McNeese State are your crazy Sweet 16 runs. If you missed the early part of the episode, first of all, if you don't follow, go follow. Follow me make sure you get me on YouTube, TikTok, all the good stuff. Final bracket, Final Four, in case you missed earlier, UConn, Arizona, Purdue, and Duke. UConn, Purdue in the national title game, and UConn to win it all. Those of you with me on TikTok, I appreciate you guys. If you're on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. I'm going to do a quick version of this for my TikTok channel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Had a decent amount of views for myself, a couple new followers, but it's been fun to do. It's going to fill out a bracket anyway. Did a first look. That's what I got. Good luck with your brackets, guys, and I will see you next time.